talking about this pretty big deal of Raw that we had this week, a 3-hour episode, hyping WrestleMania with some rewind matches. You know, getting things started on the right track as far as I'm concerned with a lot of the angles for WrestleMania. Of course, I've got to start out talking about my highlight of the show, which is the highlight of my life in wrestling. Anytime that the Iron Sheik can be on TV, it's a good time. I've had the phenomenal opportunity to work with the Iron Sheik on an occasion or two and talk in length with the Iron Sheik. And for most of you out there in the internet world, I'm sure you've seen some of his stuff on the internet with Howard Stern and the Killers of Comedy tour. Sheik is a very entertaining individual. Why Vince doesn't have him on TV more often is kind of beyond me, because he is a moneymaker. The segment was cut short by Louisville's own Jillian Hall with her wonderful, wonderful singing voice that we all love so much. But I'd say not only did we get to see a little Sheik and Volkov and hear the Russian national anthem, which I'm sure we both enjoy, or all three enjoy.
That's one of my top 20 at least national anthems. We
got to see a big reunion of Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda, the U.S. Express. It was the match at WrestleMania 1, from what I understand, of U.S. Express versus Volkov and Iron Sheik. That was 24 years in the making, and thanks to our friend Jillian Hall, we didn't get to see it.
You know, as much as I enjoy seeing the Sheik and a bunch of the old legends, I feel that, you know, all too often when we get these 3-hour Raws, which tend to be, you know, 2 or 3 times a year, Vince pulls this, you know, the same bag of tricks. He'll give us his, you know, the typical 5-minute Austin promo. You know, pull out, get Ron Simmons in there to do some stuff back.
Damn.
Yeah, but I liked how this week we really, you know, we went with the rewind. We had matches that had been done before, but we managed to push the storylines forward going into WrestleMania. I thought that was probably the greatest strength of this week's Raw.
I think the biggest storyline going into WrestleMania, as far as I'm concerned, besides the main events, of course, is the Raw vs. SmackDown battle of Umaga and Dave Bautista.
Well, I believe it's Umanga, but go ahead.
I think we finally get to see Umaga in the highlight spot that he's been deserving of a push lately. I think you guys all can agree with me. After the No Way Out Elimination Chamber, if you all remember how he dominated most of the match and all the other 5 participants in there. I've been a big fan of Umaga, and I think it's about time that we get to see more of him in the championship picture.
You know, but my only fear with that is I think we've seen this before too, where Umaga comes out and they start that monster push again, where he's just going out and squashing guys in, you know, a minute, and then they'll give him a 10, 11 week winning streak, and they'll make mention of this, and then they'll have him come out and job out 5 or 6 weeks in a row. I mean, trying to put other people over. I think that you're right. I think it's time that Umaga gets that push that he's long deserving of, to see if he can go in the main event picture.
So I guess our next topic of discussion has to be the Y2J Chris Jericho Intercontinental title match with Jeff Harvey on Raw, which obviously we've kind of discussed this subject already. And for those of you in the internet land, I said Jeff Harvey on purpose to make fun of that wonderful new announcer on Raw that may not have a job anymore. But the match, as far as the match is concerned, obviously Hardy dropped the belt to Y2J, which in my opinion is a good situation for Y2J, because he was supposed to come back and save us, and then they kind of stuck him on mid-card. So, you know, if he's going to be on mid-card, at least let him have the belt and fight for it. Obviously, this may not be the particular reason that Hardy dropped the belt, due to the fact of breaking news that we've gotten since Raw, now that we kind of know the truth. But
yeah. You know, I think that's a real shame, because I really like the thing that Jeff Hardy and Y2J had going. You know, with the Money in the Bank match, they were actually building a feud that would play itself out in the Money in the Bank match, which is something I don't know that we've really had in the past Money in the Bank matches. And you know, I also want to congratulate Jericho. He's now that's his 8th time with the Intercontinental belt, which apparently is a record, which kudos to him.
The man of 1,004 holds.
That's right. Let's toss it over to Dave Chimmel and talk about the big weigh-in on Monday Night Raw.
Yes, we did have the big weigh-in. Big Show came in nearly 300 pounds more than Floyd Money Mayweather. I think this match has some definite potential to be a good show stealer, much how last year the Battle of the Billionaires, we all saw Vince McMahon have his head shaved.
Yes, we did.
We haven't seen the Big Show in a high-profile match in quite some time since his return. it'll be good to see him work around with a boxer and Money Mayweather. Then we all saw the scene ended with Big Show lifting him up over his head and then just tossing him like a paper doll over the ropes to the floor.
So obviously it looks like Vince is going more for ticket sales and draw power, pay-per-view buys here than he is going for quality of the match because obviously Floyd Mayweather is not a trained wrestler, just like Donald Trump wasn't a trained wrestler, and then we had the sumo match a few years ago with Big Show. So on a somewhat related note, I would like to say that it's good to see that Big Show has dropped some weight, as he did when Vince sent him here to Louisville about 4 or 5 years ago, and that's probably about the same size he got to when he was here, which is good for his health, and I think it's better for him in the ring. I think that weight is going to help him in this match. What little match it may actually be. I'm interested to see how they play it. But we'll talk more about that within the next week or two because we do have a few more weeks before WrestleMania. We're going to try to get another show in with another great interview. Our next interview segment, please check it out for part 2 of this show, is going to be with Martin Evans, Twinkle Toes, better known as
Twink.
From the United Kingdom. He was a broadcast journalist for the BBC and decided to quit his job to move to the United States to pursue his dream of becoming a professional wrestler. So we're going to sit down with Martin. We're going to just discuss his experiences and see what his thoughts are on that. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.